Virgin Galactic investors, in this video, we're going to talk about the upcoming flight, what we're going to expect, price targets, a recent review done on Seeking Alpha. We're going to look at that as well. And also a special guest, a Virgin Galactic special guest joining us tomorrow live on the show. All of those information covered. All the links will be given to you later in the video. Plus, we're also giving away $204 in cash in a couple of days' time as well. And also over the weekend, I, as the World Piano Man, put out some music regarding the sad loss of Jimmy Buffett. With Jimmy Buffett and Elton John, I did some tributes to the man himself. Love the music, and if you want that information, I'll give you that information later in the video as well. But let's talk about Virgin Galactic, where we're seeing Virgin Galactic going and what's exactly happening. Now, today it's popped up very nice indeed. That's good news. Let me share with you my position so you know exactly what I've got. In my main account, this is my main account here, I have 1,165 shares. I'm looking to accumulate 4,000 shares. In my Roth IRA, I have currently nothing at all, just 10. It's just a very, very small scalp position where I buy the dip and then just sell for a couple of bucks, whatever, to constantly make money from Virgin Galactic, like a little wage, if you like, from being involved in the stock. Here's my position. We're up 4.26%. Now, this is interesting because we do have the flight in 3 days' time. Now, of course, we're going to cover the flight live. Let me give you the link to that. Click above my head. We're going to cover the flight live, as always. I know several other media outlets are not covering it anymore because they've seen the numbers decline over the period. Well, I'm still going to cover it because we have a lot of people who invest on Virgin Galactic who want to know the news, not just because it's the biggest news. We're going to cover it, and we're going to cover all the flights going forward. So click above my head for the flight. Now, tomorrow live on the show, we do have an investor in Virgin Galactic joining us, a very large YouTube account. It'll be live on the show, broadcasts his investments. He's also written a book on cryptocurrency, so he'll be joining us live on the show tomorrow. Click above my head for that if you want to join us this time tomorrow for our live Virgin Galactic unedited interview. But Virgin Galactic is going up, so let's look at our price target, where we're seeing the action going, and of course, if you want the link to the flight as well, on the 8th, that'll be above my head as well. Let's go and look at this information here. Virgin Galactic not worth the risk. Now, I want to say absolutely off the bat, if you understand, and most people don't, we've run several polls suggesting 85% don't actually read the balance sheet, don't actually understand the balance sheet, don't even care. They just buy with belief or passion or what they've heard on a YouTube channel, whatever. If you do read the balance sheet, you know now that Virgin Galactic is very risky, and it's why a lot of people haven't bought it. Hence, it's been sold, hence why it's down. Virgin Galactic is now a long-term investment. We didn't get any any significant bounce from the flights. We thought we would, we didn't. There are some celebrity flights coming towards the end of the year, and we'll cover them live. They may influence the stock, but to be fair, the only reason now to buy Virgin Galactic is because you know when the Delta fleet comes out and it becomes more efficient and it ramps up the flights and becomes more profitable, then it'll go up. That's the thing. That's why you're investing in it. So, is it worth the risk right now? Well, not really, no, even though I'm in it, but that's why I haven't bought 4,000 shares, because you could be waiting around for 2 years. You could be earning 4.9% just by holding your cash in uninvested cash, or by buying the S&P and earning 10-15%, or buying Tesla and earning 100% this year. And then you could come back next year and buy Virgin Galactic. That's a very good strategy. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's have a look at this point here from Seeking Alpha. Virgin Galactic reported a revenue of $2 million at a net loss of $134 million in Q2, with negative free cash flow of $135 million. The potential profitability of the space tourism and research industry is uncertain, hence it's speculative at best. It is. And Virgin Galactic may need to raise capital. Not may, do and will and are, no question. And we know how much, and we know that the stock price could go to 150 when they do. We know all of this. This is not a maybe, this is a fact. And we know as investors how much is yet to come. The company's financial situation is poor and their future is uncertain. Yes, that's why, if you believe in it, why it's an investment, not a gamble, because as Warren Buffett repeatedly said, you buy a company that you know has got great future, but right now it's having a hard time. You're buying undervalued. Around the 250 is the value of the cash on the books. The rockets don't count as assets, they're liabilities, they cost money. Simple maths will tell you that. And it could go to 150. So everything right now is speculative at best. Definitely. We don't see a fundamental reason to buy shares of Virgin Galactic at this time. Absolutely correct. They're absolutely right on that. No question about it. But it's whether you believe that this company can be successful in the future. And it's hard to believe that because several of the last Virgin brands have all gone bankrupt. Richard Branson isn't marketing it the way he used to. The marketing team aren't as good as I think they should be. And I think they should have brought more celebrities up front to get the stock moving. But there it is. And a lot of it, though, is macro conditions, the economy. But if I'm right, in 2 weeks' time, we'll get an FOMC report of a pause. Then this will be great for the stock anyway. So, that'll be good. But anyway, that's really what will drive the stock in the midterm is a rate pause, which I think we're going to get. Virgin Galactic has been making reasonable progress at finally generating revenue. That being said, the spaceflight tourism and research business is still in its infancy, and questions remain about how profitable the business will ultimately be. The company is still losing a large amount of money and will likely need to raise capital if they can't stem the losses soon. Rather than take the risk, investors would be better off watching from the sidelines. Absolutely right. However, you could then miss out on that pump. But as I said before, wouldn't you rather buy Virgin Galactic at $10, knowing it's going to 100, than buying it at 260 and it may never go anywhere and might go to zero? So that's the point, right? You still make 100% profit. The financial situation in the second quarter, Virgin Galactic reported revenue of $2 million and a net loss of $134 million. The company also had negative free cash flow of $135 million in the quarter. The company's financial situation is less than ideal, and the guidance is more of the same next quarter. Virgin Galactic has ample liquidity for now, but they are quickly burning through their cash pile and decreasing their book value. If trends continue for much longer, the company will need to raise additional funds through issuing stocks or bonds, likely to detriment of current shareholders. This is no surprise. We are expecting this. Now, if you're not familiar with the earnings is everything. It's boring, but it's everything. If you click above my head, you can go and see our last earnings. I will give you the link to our last earnings. We cover all the earnings and we knew all this. However, I bought into the stock. I am fully aware of it. All right. Let's have a look a bit more at Virgin Galactic information. The core problem, space tourism and research, is still a nascent industry, and the commercial payoff is unclear. The business case for spaceflight revolves around demand increasing over time, and that's what you have to ask yourself. Will enough people want to fly into space? I believe so, but I don't believe that's why I'm investing in it. I'm investing in it is it can make a lot more money around space tourism. Hence, Michael Cole Glazier, who worked at Disney, I believe you'll have a whole environment of space and tourism at the space ports. There'll be hotels, there'll be experiences. As we've already learned from previous flights, people spend several weeks before their flight doing things, and once we get regular flights, there'll be all kinds of events going on for the family to experience weightlessness in weightlessness machines and so on and so forth. This will bring lots of revenue in, I believe, of a chance for those who want to go into space. And there's no other company that can do it in this, can be this efficient with doing it. The problem that these cost declines may never materialize. The problem is that these cost declines may never materialize, or they may materialize after Virgin Galactic runs out of liquidity. This is the issue we've got. It could go bust before it's successful, and then somebody else, we've talked about it before, Rocket Labs, take over the company. Several people have hinted to me that is a possibility, and others would go, well, why would they? They are a satellite company. But people that follow me, people that work at Virgin Galactic, people that are connected on the ground say, and Rocket Labs is saying, there are rumors of that in the background, and rumors sometimes come to fruition, right? The company states their liquidity is at being 980 million, but this metric looks worse when their net cash of 563 million is considered. In addition, 100 million of their cash balance is made up of customer deposits. At the current rate of net losses in cash burn, the company will have a negative book value a year from now, as well as net cash balance of nearly zero. If the company is unable to fix their financial situation over the next year, they will need to raise additional capital. We know this, we expect it. So, the dismal financial situation means that investors are taking considerable risk, but due to the uncertain business model, the reward is likely not enough to justify taking the risk. That is an issue. If you look at it, the risk to reward, is it there? Can Virgin Galactic even make money in the future? Well, that is the issue right now. There's no question about it. Price, action, and valuation. This is important. Virgin Galactic has fallen far from their all-time highs, but we could caution investors from anchoring to where the stock has been in the past. Absolutely, never look back and look at where it was. That's not, if you're looking at it thinking it was $60 and $65, then we should buy it. No, that is the wrong thing to do. It's proven now that the flights haven't made effect on the price of the stock going up. Many stocks have become detached from their fundamentals during the liquidity-fueled speculation of 2020 and 21. We talked about that as well. COVID, everyone was buying into the stocks. They had stimulus checks. Everything got overbought. Tesla got overbought. We saw what happened to Peloton. Other things that got pumped, Carvana, all these things that have all gone down the toilet since. Different story for Carvana, of course, but Virgin Galactic was one of those. The crypto market boosted and now sold off again. Yes, I mean, a lot of speculative gambling went on during COVID. And we could get another COVID resurgence, though. That's another story for another day. Given the fundamental picture, it's unlikely that Virgin Galactic will return to their former highs anytime soon. If ever, if the stock were to rally out of a short squeeze or a positive catalyst, it would probably be wise for investors to take their profits rather than push their luck. A short squeeze, of course. We've talked about it on the show many, many times. Anyway, a bit more information because we are covering the flight in a couple of days' time, and also we have a guest on the show tomorrow live on the show. If you want to be live with us on the show and put your questions to our star guest, a Virgin Galactic investor, very large YouTube channel as well, join me tomorrow. Also got a book on cryptocurrency. Click above my head and we'll bring you to that event, which is tomorrow. The company doesn't have meaningful revenue and has negative net income and negative operation cash flows. This forces us to value the company based entirely upon the net value of the assets. Remember, rockets aren't assets, though, they're liabilities. They cost money until they make money, right? At least until those assets have shown an ability to earn a financial return of some kind. Exactly. The company is still trading well above the net value of their assets. That book value is quickly evaporating. We don't see a compelling reason to buy shares on a fundamental basis. Very, very true. Virgin Galactic Holdings, there's their book value, as you can see. You can see right now we are now approaching, as I've said, 250 in my opinion is what you're paying for the cash, but as the cash burns, then the value goes down, of course, because that's all they have in their favor as far as financial assets. And if dilution happens now, which they could be forced to do, then we're going down to 150. Then we're in all kinds of bother. And it doesn't matter how good you think it is, it can't recover once it gets that low. It really, really can't. The risks a risk to the bearish thesis for Virgin Galactic is the potential for the company to cut down on their expenses and earn more with their operations through more tickets sold or at a higher price per seat. Any reduction in launch costs would go straight towards improving their profitability, weakening the bear case. True. However, you have to invest to get the Delta fleet online as quick as possible to bring the cost down. So what do you think? There's Virgin Galactic. We have got a big week. We've got the flights. We are going to get a little rally for the flights, no question about it, but it could easily sell off. People will sell it and dump it again. This is a long-term investment now. Join us for the flights. Click above my head, and also join us for our star guest live on the show tomorrow. You can put your questions to him if you want to do that. I've got a X account where the post is there. You can reply to that post and put your questions, things that you want me to ask our guest on the show tomorrow. Okay, well, that's it for Virgin Galactic right now. If you want more Virgin Galactic information, if you click above my head, and if you want to be entered into our free prize draw, click over there. More videos in the series. This is the video for tomorrow to join us for the live event tomorrow, our star guest. And down here is if you want to win $204 in cash. All right, then you can be in our draw, which ends in a couple of days. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.